before I introduce you the program, I will tell you a bit more about Belfast and about Queen's University. So you can see here in the map, we are here in the Northern Ireland. Here you can see. So Belfast and Northern Ireland, actually, if you read around the news or if you discuss with other students, you will see that it's a happy place to live. It's quiet. Also, the cost is quite low. You can see here we have some information based on the, for example, cost of living ranking, in 2021. But also it's safe. So if concern is safety, I can reassure you that Belfast is a very safe area to study and work. So regarding Queen's University, let's see how we are doing. So if you think about ranking, so we are one of the top 170 in the world universities for graduate prospects. And you can see this is updated from the employability ranking for 2022. Also, we are one of the Russell Group, and you may be aware Russell Group is indicates excellent universities in teaching and research. So Queen's is one of them within the United Kingdom. Also, just some information about how when it's founded. So you can see it's founded back in 1845, and actually is one of the three Queen's Colleges in Ireland, and became an independent university in 1908. So has a great history, and if you are around or you come to study in Queen's, you will see beautiful buildings with a lot of historical value around. Also, some more information about Queen's, and based on fact and based on current ranking. So we're in the 9th oldest university in the United Kingdom. Also, in terms of international reputation, so you can see that we are the 21st in the world for international outlook, and you can see this based on the World Higher Education ranking in 2021. We have over 3,500 international students. They're coming every year here to Belfast from 80 different countries. And also, as I mentioned, we are proud to be a member of the Russell Group, that this indicates top research intensity universities. And actually, we are among, along-wise Cambridge, Oxford, Imperial College, London, United Kingdom. So we have, we are in the 4th in the United Kingdom for health and biomedical science. Also, we are the 85th most impactful university globally, and this information coming from ranking in the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and you can see more information on the impact ranking for 2022. But also we are among the 14th in the United Kingdom from the research quality. So this is coming from Information Times and Sunday Times, the Good University Guide 2022. So you can see that actually is ranking, quite well across, different sectors based on the impact, based on the teaching and research quality. So the program that I'm going to introduce you today is based on the Faculty of Medicine, Health and Life Science. And actually this has different schools. So we are the School of Medicine, Dentistry and Biomedical Science. So we are one of the 4 schools, and the other 3 schools is the School of Biological Science, School of Pharmacy and School of Nursing and Midwifery. Also how we do in partnership. So here I include the map and actually show some indication. Actually, we collaborate, and we have created an extensive partnership network with companies, with external collaborators, universities, and we do research together. But also we are creating spin-out companies. But also we do research and teaching in collaboration. Here are some examples for you, just to have an idea the network that Queen's has developed across the board. Okay, so now that you have some information about Queen's, about the ranking, about our reputation for international students, I'm going to tell you about the Master in Experimental Medicine. So this is 1-year program. So it will start the next cohort is starting September 2022. So this is based on the Wellcome Wolfson Institute for Experimental Medicine in Queen University Belfast. And I am here one of the program coordinators together with my colleague, Professor Bronna Blackwood. So if you have any questions, as I mentioned before, please feel free to send me an email, and I'm more than happy to meet you and talk further. So regarding the structure of the course, I'm going to go through the slide, but what I would like to emphasize is that this is the main component of this program is the research project. So what we want to do in the first semester that starting in September, we want to equip the students with the best skills and abilities in order to undertake a full-time research project in the lab or in the clinic or based on a data analysis, as I'm going to tell you more information in a while. But actually, this will be full-time, hands-on on the research project. But this is run from January to September, and this is dedicated on research. So the structure of the program is based on different semesters. So the first semester that starts September to December actually is based on mostly teaching. So here we have 3 modules that all the students should undertake, and it's based on research skills and based on experimental medicine. So the first one is the fundamental research skills in experimental medicine. And then following a more advanced research skills in experimental medicine. And in a minute, I'm going to tell you more what exactly these are going to include. And of course, have been equipped with these fundamental and advanced research skills. We want to train you how you can really use these skills on experimental medicine towards clinical translation. So there, we're going to bring in the context diseases based on infection immunity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, vascular complications, cancer. And actually, you are going to see how the skills that you have been taught can be applied on the experimental medicine towards clinical translation. And of course, I mentioned that the research project will start in January, but in theory, it will start back in September because all the students are going to be allocated a research project in December. So by doing these taught modules, also they have the opportunity to read and be familiar with the research field that they are going to work later on. And all the assessment that we're going to do in these taught modules actually are going to be related to your research project. So you're going to do, for example, a literature review, so you're going to read and be prepared for your research project. Also, the techniques that you're going to learn here, you're going to see how these skills can be adapted towards your research project to help you to design your experiments, to analyze your data, and to really present your findings. Also, you are going to be allocated to a group. So you are going to have a supervisor and a supervision team. You're going to have a research team, and you're going to be part through meetings and through supervision from day one when you join us in September. So this is the the main structure. So semester 1 starts September. So the goal and the idea behind is to equip you with the basic and advanced research skills. And actually, we are going to provide you with a strong theoretical background, how you can advance in the fields of experimental medicine towards clinical translation. And then from semester 2, from January onwards, you are going to do focus on high quality research projects that are going to be allocated to you within the Center for Experimental Medicine, and you are going to work this full time for the remaining period up to submission of the dissertation the next September. So let me tell you a bit more about the first module. So this will be the fundamental research skills in experimental medicine. So it doesn't matter what is your background so far. If you have a lot of research experience or no research experience, our goal is to train you, and we're going to train everyone based on fundamental research skills. So here we have the module coordinator, Dr. Imar Lingwai. So what he is going to tell you, and there is a whole team behind and has designed and will deliver this program, is, how, for example, you can formulate a research hypothesis. Also, we're going to train you about research integrity, and this is very, very important. So we will emphasize that, and we will train you how to apply, to comply with all research integrity rules. But also we're going to really set up a key understanding of the regulatory framework that governs basic and clinical research. So what do you need to start a clinical or a basic research program? Also, you are going to gain accreditation in vivo experimentation. So, for example, if your project related to in vivo work and you are happy of conducted experiments related to animals, then there is the opportunity for the students to undertake their own home office training course, and this will give you a license that you can have it for the rest of your career. Also, we can give you a good clinical practice, so you can get a certificate for that, and then this is based how to undertake clinical research in human subjects. And of course, this module will be all developing all these transferable skills that actually you can really improve your CV and put evidence that actually you have been taught on that. So this includes scientific writing, so there will be webinars and there will be courses how to write scientific standards. Also, we really emphasize on presentation, so we're going to train you how to do a presentation and how to present in the public, but also in the scientific community, your own findings, but also how to communicate, and this including social media will be taught in this course. Also statistics, because some projects are heavy in statistics, some projects that need a basic understanding of statistics. So we have courses, and this module will provide information about that. So this will be based on a fundamental research skill in experimental medicine. There will be some assessments, so there's no exams in this program. There are only assessments, and there are a few of them. So one of them, for example, is a social media assignment. And you remember I mentioned that we want you really to train you how to communicate with the public. So, that will be one of the assessments. Also presentation, we're going to ask you to choose a journal and then an article, and then you're going to prepare and to present that, and we will give you feedback how you improve your presentation skills. And literature review. So based on the given project that has been allocated to you, then you will have to write a literature review. So you are going to communicate with your supervisor, the research team, and they will help you how to approach this literature review. Also in this taught module, the fundamental research skill in experimental medicine, there will be lectures and will tell you how to approach literature. Because it's very important. Think about you have to research on a topic and you put a title in Google or in PubMed, and you will see hundreds or thousands, articles or views that coming out. So how you're going to be selective, how you're going to really approach them based on a critical approach to identify which information is important for your literature review and for your research in general. So there will be training on how to approach that. And then we will move to the second taught modules, that this will be the advanced research skills in experimental medicine. And actually here will be a module most based on specialized pathways. So here what we want to do is to build on a major strategic research, and this actually to show you the impact on its globally significant area. Because what we want after you complete this program to be fully equipped with all these advanced research skills. And doesn't matter if you are going to do a project on cancer or cardiovascular medicine or infection, the skills that you are going to acquire actually will give you the opportunity to go to any field that you want to research, because these are universal advanced research skills that actually can apply to any discipline. Even if you want to go back to medicine, or you want to go to industry, or you want to do a PhD for an academic career, these skills will be so important to equip and really make you very competitive for your next steps for your career. So what is the idea behind this module and what you are going to gain? So you are going to be able to identify strength and weakness of various preclinical models, of diabetic cardiovascular disease, for example. Also, we are going to understand the immune system and major groups, of microbes causing disease. And you are going to be able, to explain outcomes of deregulated immune responses. But importantly, you are going to clinically evaluate, current scientific literature, and actually this will give you to, assimilate information and theories into a reasonable argument. So actually, you are going to really start developing your critical approach and how you can understand these advanced research skills based on preclinical models in different areas. So what you are going to be taught here, and this is just a summary, but if you are interested, I can meet you later on and I can explain you even more details. So you are going to be taught and you'll be trained in theory, but also in practical, how to use advanced imaging training, how to do single-cell sequencing and analysis, bioinformatics, statistics. Also, you are going to see more, 3D cell culture systems, because if you follow the literature, you are going to see now that the field is moving from the mono layer of cells. If you, for example, you are working on a cancer-related project, so far what we were doing, we had just a cancer cell line and we look under the microscope, but now the field is moving towards 3D, because in the human body, no cells are in isolation, but all are connecting to each other. So we have here in the center organoids, we have 3D culture system, and actually you will be trained how to use that, and this can include like mini brains, can include kidneys, hearts, retina. Also 3D printing, because now you may be aware that there is an emerging, field based on 3D printing, and actually we can really use this technology in order to understand better in vitro and in vivo model, and actually have a better, model of a disease. Microfluidics is another area that we're going to train the students, but also proteomics and metabolomics. So you can see here, this is advanced research skills, and actually this is based on cutting-edge technologies. So if you read papers, you will see everyone is talking nowadays about, for example, single-cell sequencing and analysis, something that a few years ago was just a dream, but even today we can have a heart, we can have a tissue from the brain, and actually based on a single-cell analysis, we can have a clear idea of what are the different population of cells, what is the signaling, and this is very important for the pathology of a given disease, but also to understand development as well. And then we will move towards the last taught module. So remember, all this happened in the first semester. So now that you have a good understanding of fundamental research skills, but also advanced research skills, we're going to tell you how you are going to use these skills towards clinical translation. So why this is important, and how actually you can use this to help the medical field, the patients, drug screening, create a new therapy, make a device. So all these, different elements. So what we are going to be taught here is based on specialized path we're building on major strategic research strength. And then you are going to see, learn here approaches using the diagnosis of different diseases, and we're going to focus on diabetes, cardiovascular disease, also clinical and vascular complications. But also you are going to be able to see how these skills can really help you to critically evaluate the use of in vivo, ex vivo model, and you can understand inflammation, immunity, and host pathogen interactions. Also, how you are going to be able to design novel strategies for the treatment of the disease and critically evaluate them. Because if you want to set up a hypothesis and think about what is needed in the field in order to find new treatment, you have to have a good understanding of what is there and actually what tools you can be used in order to answer a specific question or go and design a clinical trial, for example, and test a new drug. Also, this brings me here to the know and explain basic concepts behind clinical trials. And so we're going to give an emphasis here. We are going to have a training, a tutorial, but also you are going to have an assignment based on clinical trials. So we're going to train you how to do that. and then you have to write your own clinical trial. And of course, we will give you feedback on that, how you should approach this important field. Finally, you are going to explain therapeutic approach to design new intervention, for example, vaccine, therapeutics, or diagnostics. So we have a lot of projects and a lot of information about vaccines like COVID, as it's very current at the moment, but in general, we do a lot of vaccine discovery related projects or diagnostic as well. So here I summarize some of the techniques. Some of you may recognize that this is again emerging field in medicine nowadays. This clinical translation module will have gene therapy and CRISPR-Cas9. So CRISPR-Cas9 has been awarded a Nobel Prize a few years ago to gene editing. So now we have the tools actually to change the DNA, create a mutation, correct the mutation, insert a gene. This can be done based on this technology very fast and very efficient. In the few years to come, we're going to see that actually this technology is reaching the patients and correcting diseases. So you are going to be trained on that. Also, we're going to tell you about drug development and repurposing, and this is vital, very important, and we have seen in the last few years with COVID and the pandemic, actually how drug repurposing is happening and actually helping a lot to accelerate things and create treatments when we really need them. We're going to train you on stem cells, cell reprogramming, cell-based therapies. Also, based on the immune system for therapeutics, how to harshening the immune system. You're going to be taught based on pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamic studies. If you want, you have a project related to the, drug discovery, vaccine. If you are, interested in that, there are programs on vaccine development. Also, we're going to give you lectures and tutorials on antimicrobial resistance, and we are going to learn what is in the field at the moment and what is the tools in order to fight against microbial resistance that is becoming a global threat. Also, omics, we're going to have, visiting on different institutions, but also give you information and give you lectures and tutorial of omics for therapeutics. This can be epigenetics, proteomics, metabolomics. Also, harnessing the microbiome. It's another field, very important. So we include this here because we really believe the students has to be really taught for the microbiome because it's emerging at the moment. And also clinical trials and biomarker discovery. So will be tutorials, will be webinars and lectures on the biomarker discovery. So some more assessment here for this specific module will be presentations and will be clinical trial protocol. So here we're going to train you how to write a clinical trial protocol, and then we will ask you to present, we will give you feedback, and then you have to write your own clinical trial protocol. So when all these taught modules have been completed, so that will be in the first semester, and the idea behind is to complete these 3 taught modules and the assessment. So there are the assessments that I mentioned and a few more. So everything will be completed the first week of January of the new academic year. And then the students, they will proceed with the research project and dissertation. So as I mentioned, this will be a full-time commitment based on the research project. So it will be a range of projects. This can be basic, can be clinical, can be based on systematic review, data analysis. But remember, all of the projects are very translational. So we are going to see the application towards clinical translation. So these projects, they run from January. So you are expecting, to undertake basic or clinical research. And we want from you, to have a very active contribution. You are going to critically evaluate your data in light, with experimental conditions. Also, you are going to actively contribute to experimental design and the protocol development. You are going to apply research ethics that you have been taught to study, humans and animals, and also apply statistics. And of course, when you complete that, you should present your research as written and oral presentations. So we have few assessments for the research project. and this is based on a mock research paper. Because as important is to collaborate and to communicate your research with the public, equally important is to communicate with the scientific community. So this can be scientific and medical community that can read the findings of your research project. The way to do that is to publish, so to write a scientific paper. So here you are going to have the opportunity to be trained and also, you will write your own mock paper based on the data that you have generated in the lab or in the clinic. Then you are going to present, so oral presentation, again provided feedback, and you can see across the course we have different presentations. So we want to see progressively how the students improve and actually how they are taking the feedback provided on board to make themselves better and better when they are presenting, because this is important skills for the career development in a later time point. Also, we'll train you how to do a lab book writing, because it's a very important component of research, and there is a supervision report as well. And finally, when the research project have been completed, you have to write a dissertation. So this is a final module, but actually it's a lengthy piece of work, around 15 to 20,000 words, that you should write all your scientific findings in the format of a dissertation and submit it in September the next academic year. So I have given you so far the structure of the program. So I have been, brief through the modules. Also, I have telling you a bit more about the, this important, component of the research. Also, it's not only that. So by joining the Queen University Belfast and our center, then you are going to be a part of a community. So we want to really equip you, with the best skills within a year, that actually these can be transferable skills that you can move, forward with your careers. So, so then you will have the opportunity to be, part of the whole center. And actually, we provided weekly research seminars. So there are invited speakers that they are coming, giving talks. Some of them are through, Microsoft Teams, but now most of them are through face-to-face. So we strongly encourage the students to participate and learn and hear from them. Also, we have, international speakers that they are coming and giving talks. Actually, we have opportunity to talk with the students, exchange ideas, and create opportunities. Maybe you can find your future job there. Also, we can encourage collaboration, within Queen University and also outside. So there is a nice, healthy network that can be established there. So I have a few more slides, and this is based on the research project, because one question I always receive from the students or students that want to join the program is what kind of projects, and do the students actually have the opportunity to select the projects and what the projects are really involved. So the answer is yes. So we will give you, when you join us in September, we're going to present you all the research projects available here in the center. And then we will give you, the opportunity to choose. So we will try to give you as, much as possible your first choice, if not possible, maybe your second choice. But definitely we want to work with you and give you a project that you're happy with, project that you like, you enjoy doing it, and actually you have an active contribution of that. So I have very few slides here, just to give you a flavor what projects are involved. But of course, I don't have time to go through all the projects, because we can have 30, 35, 40 projects, different topics. But here I will give you just an idea. So for example, we're doing project on induced pluripotent stem cell technology, and this is based on diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So the students that they choose this kind of projects, they will be trained how to use stem cells, how to reprogram patient-specific stem cells, and make pluripotent stem cells, and then how differentiate to blood vessels, how they differentiate to endothelial cells. So for example, here a project is how you make human blood vessel organoids, and actually how you use this for regenerative medicine, how you use this to approach and treat cardiovascular disease and diabetic complications. There are other projects focused on signaling and actually finding new drugs or new targets that can improve vascular dysfunction. And this is based on a project that they are using this NOx4. So this is a reactive oxygen species, related projects, because that when there is a pathology and when there is diabetes or there is cardiovascular disease, we have more reactive oxygen species, and this damages the blood vessels. So in this project, they try to identify different genes that actually they can restore the function and help, the restoration of the blood vessels. Also, there are a number of projects based on bacterial infections. You heard me talk about, antimicrobial resistance. So there are different, projects based, on Klebsiella, based on, E. coli, based on Legionella, tuberculosis, and many others. So a very large range of projects, how you can approach and understand antimicrobial resistance. And the goal behind, of course, is how to create new therapies for these infections. Also, there are other projects based on, like here it says an example of antimicrobial potential for mesenchymal stem cells. So this is another kind of stem cells, and actually how this can be used as cell-based therapy for infection like Legionella pneumonia. So this is an infection in the lungs, and they are using this stem cell approach actually to improve the infection in the lung. Another project is based on, rhinovirus, and actually how you can, understand the pathology for rhinovirus and target proteins in order to help the host cells to cope better. And of course, I haven't included information. We have projects on COVID. So if someone is interested to understand the pathology of COVID-19 or the SARS-2 virus or vaccine development, we have projects on that as well. Also, we have projects on regenerative, neuroinflammation research. That's an example, and this is how to use this inflammatory mechanism to boost the brain. And this is a project based on multiple sclerosis. And actually, we have a few projects on multiple sclerosis as well. So just to give you a flavor, and of course we have projects on cancers, on neuron development, on kidney diseases, on lung diseases. Inflammation and many more. If any of you are interested to see the whole list of the project, please keep in touch with me, and I'm more than happy to share the list and then discuss that further. Or even if you have an idea for a project that you want to conduct, and we have the expertise here, talk to me, and I will make sure I will identify a supervisor just to make sure we can cover the specific research field that you are interested in. So just some information about fees and scholarships. So if you decide to join us, so this is some information about fees regarding if you are, GB, NI, or Republic of Ireland student, or European or international. Also, there are some international studentship scholarships and domestic student scholarships. Here there are some information. But if you are interested to apply, and you are interested in any of these scholarships, talk to us, and we're more than happy to send you a list what scholarships are available at the moment. And as I'm aware, the last few weeks I had a few meetings, and there will be some more, domestic student scholarships for students in experimental medicine. So please talk to us, and we're going to provide you all the information about potential scholarships and what is the process of applying. So regarding entry requirements, we request here a minimum to 1 honor degree, and there is a whole list. If you go to apply, exactly what degrees are accepted, but it can be quite wide. So most of the degrees actually that they have, biology, biochemistry, microbiology, medicine, dentistry should be accepted for these entry requirements. Also, there are more information for international students. If you have specific questions, please let us know. And also, there is an English language requirement if English is not your first language. So what is the next step? You need to apply. If you have already applied, then you will receive an offer, but you need to accept the offer in the direct application portal, or you can email here people to help you. And you need to know there is a deposit is required to secure your place, just to make sure people that they secure places actually they are coming, just to make sure we give equal opportunity to all the students that they want to join the program. So we are still open for applications for this academic year. Please, if you are interested, talk to us and go ahead to do your applications. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and I'm more than happy to take any questions. And we go now to Matthew. Matthew will share your screen.
Everyone see me okay?
Yep, we can see and hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Hi everybody. I'm Matthew. I'm one of the master students on the experimental course now, and I've just been asked to kind of speak with you today and just let you know a bit about the course and my experience and all the different opportunities that are on offer as well. So I'm a medical student, so I've done 3 years of medicine, then I'm doing this year, I'm doing my master's, and then 2 more years afterwards. So I kind of have a more like biased, unique experience of the course, but I asked a lot of my friends who did undergrads like biomed or microbiology and various different ones to see what their sort of opinions of the course were as well. So I'll try to just give you an overview of everything. So in terms of the course, you heard a lot about it there, but it runs for a year from, for you guys, it'll be September 22 to September 23. It's changed slightly from this year, but it's, I was talking to Professor Margheriti and she said that it's a lot of the similar stuff that we were to learn. So initially you do fundamental research skills, so learning all about just very general things. For me, I have absolutely no research experience, and it's been a while since I've done kind of science stuff, so it was nice to get a sort of refresher on that. And then you move into learning more advanced research skills in diabetes and cardiovascular medicine, and also infection and immunity. And so for this year, we split into more specialized streams, and I did surrounding infection and immunity. So some of the things that I was learning was all about the immune system in health and how it works, and then how it goes wrong in disease, with infections or in other inflammatory diseases. And then the module I definitely liked the most was the more translational one, seeing how research can go from, you know, a basic idea to designing experiments to going the whole way to actually having an impact on patients, which is something that I'm really interested in. And yeah, I thought that's a really exciting part, like especially coming from medicine as well. And then obviously the research project is a really, really big part of the whole course. So you select it early on in the year, around September, October time, and it's really cool that your initial assessments would focus on your project. So for example, you'd write a literature review, finding out about the sort of background of your project and how it fits in to the wider sort of knowledge base. You would present to everybody just about what your project's about, and you also might be involved in like lab meetings and getting started on a few like minor preparation things in the lab as well. So even though it is full time from January to around August, September time, you're also working on it before then. And you end out sort of becoming like, you know, really tuned in the kind of area you're in. So mine is vaccines, so I'd be very like I'm very interested in like all those sort of new developments, and it's really nice to have a kind of specialized subject area that you're focusing on. So Professor Margheriti went over a lot of the research projects, but there's absolutely loads. I think we had a choice of about 40 this year. There's things about diabetes, vascular diseases, ophthalmology, about bacteria and virology and host interactions. My project's more in immunology. And then there's even ones on kind of critical care and respiratory medicine. And there's also ones that would be involved more with patients and or even writing reviews or looking at clinical trials and stuff like that. So there's a ton. If you're interested in something, the centre is probably going to have, at least somebody who's interested in it as well. In terms of my project, I thought I'd just give a quick overview. So it's titled Developing a Vaccine Against Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So it's a opportunistic bacterial infection, and it causes infections in a whole range of immunocompromised patients. And it's a really big issue in those with CF, cystic fibrosis, and also in ICUs and in hospitals. But unfortunately, there's no vaccine available for it. So my project kind of fits into a wider research project that the group I'm part of is looking at investigating proteins which stimulate a T cell response, which is something that's never been tried before for Pseudomonas. So it's a really kind of new area of research, and any project that you pick would really focus in on something that's really new, which is really interesting. For me, I thought I'd kind of give an outline of what a typical week or a typical few days might be like. So for me, I'd be doing a lot of lab work. I'm looking at bacteria and transforming them to be able to produce Pseudomonas proteins and then expressing and purifying them. And I recently just started an animal experiment, so looking at the immune response with the proteins that were produced. And then also I've had the opportunity to develop a part of my project. Like I sort of came up with the idea for it, having read a lot around it, and it was looking at engineering a vaccine that can stimulate or engineering a vaccine that is made up of many different proteins that can stimulate a strong immune response, and that's all in silico or computer-based work, so I can do it when I'm not in the lab, and I've gotten some really interesting results from that as well. You might also be involved in weekly lab meetings. So every Tuesday I have the group lab meeting where we talk about kind of our experiments and what's happening with them. And then also there's lab meetings throughout the centre which look at kind of groups that are on similar subjects. So for example, I'm part of the immunology group meeting. So we look at things like last week they were presenting about MS, and then I presented about vaccines. There was another master's student in my lab looking at vaccines against anthrax. There's loads of sort of B cell and T cell signaling and antibody production and loads and loads of different things. So it's really nice to kind of look at all the other things that are going on in the center. You're not just focused in on your one project. And I know that there's a load of different center group meetings for all the different kind of areas as well. And then for me, now that I'm coming towards the end of the whole course, I'm starting to write my dissertation. You might also be writing things for the lab or even have the chance to kind of write research papers. So I was really lucky to be able to publish the literature review that I wrote as part of an assessment earlier last year. So I took that literature review and my supervisor read it and said that we could expand it out and hopefully publish it. So it should be published in the next week or two in a special edition of Vaccines. So it's I'm really glad that I was able to get something published. It's I wouldn't have really had that opportunity otherwise. So that's another potential opportunity as well. In terms of other opportunities you might have, it's really it comes down to you being able to develop new skills in an exciting research project, not only just learning new techniques and really interesting things, just for me it was learning more time management and organizing skills. I always thought that I was pretty good at that and then found out very quickly that I was not. So it's you develop a load over the course of the year, and then you really become part of the center as well. So there's like weekly seminars as well, looking at a whole range of subjects. They may be invited in, or there may be like internal presenters as well. I think there's one on right now actually as well. So there's loads of them, and you find out loads about research in a whole range of different areas. There's also opportunities to attend conferences. So the Microbiology Society conference was on a few months ago, and a lot of us got to go to that. There's opportunities to publish, like I was saying, or present at conferences. And then if you're working with patients, you may be able to get the good clinical practice qualification. And like for me, when I'm working with animals, so I had the opportunity to get training to get a personal animal license, and I've just started animal experiments as well. And then coming from medicine, I'm really interested in like academic medicine, and hopefully splitting my time between patients and looking at research. So I have the opportunity to be mentored by another academic as part of the Inspire mentorship scheme. So that's been really interesting, and I've gotten a lot of guidance from not only my mentor but other people that he's been able to like help me link with, and I've got a lot of kind of contacts for people I may come back to in the future as well. Outside the course, I was still able to be involved in a lot of different things as well. So I'm part of the widening participation unit in Queen's, trying to get more skilled students in and interested in different courses. So it goes all the way from primary school up to like year 13s and 14s, and it's really fun, like giving them tours of Queen's, and like we've done stupid things like playing with Lego and robots and stuff, and throwing eggs off the roof of the Lanyard building and stuff like that. It's been really fun. I've had the opportunity to do that. I'm part of the NI Healthcare Leadership Forum. So we're involved in trying to make like changes to the healthcare system and encouraging people to become leaders within healthcare. I also had the opportunity this year to work on a clinical trial in the Centre for Public Health. It's called Game of Stones, and it looks at different interventions to encourage men to lose weight. So I've been involved in trying to recruit people from that trial, and then I'm also like with delivering interventions as well. So it's really nice to kind of get another perspective on research as well. And then outside Queen's, in general, I play a lot of basketball and have links to like college basketball in America. So I was on a big trip with them as well around here. So there's plenty of time to like still keep up with your own thing, even if it even if you are still busy in the labs as well, which is really nice. In terms of like where you can go in the future, I asked a lot of people like in the course as well what they were planning to do. So a lot of them are going on to PhDs, both like within Queen's, and there's some people moving away to like Portugal and even further to do PhDs in similar things than the research project was on now, which is really interesting. Some are planning to work in industry, or even like work in other labs in like hospitals or various other areas. And then for me and some of the other medical students that are on the course, I have like a goal of pursuing academic medicine in pediatrics. So I've had loads of opportunities to like just get involved with research this year, and also to link up with various academics as well and find out more about their careers. So there's loads of opportunities and loads of things that this course opens up doors to as well. So thank you for listening, and I'm more than happy to take any questions you have about the course. And I'm sure my email can be like circulated as well for any questions that you might have. So thank you so much, and yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you. That's great. That's great. And also a very important point that Matthew mentioned and I didn't include today is the publications and conferences. So most of the students, they have opportunities to publish either a review article or a full scientific paper, and they are co-authors. And I can tell you, the last few years, all the students in my lab, they are second or first authors in one or two papers. Also conferences as well. That is very important to keep in mind. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matthew. So now we're open for questions. Do you have any questions, or to me, or to Matthew, or anything that you want us to clarify? So I will check the chat. I see the chat, some information from Patricia about fees. So hopefully this clarifies some questions, but if you have more questions on that, let us know. So is everything okay with the structure of the program? Anything you want to know? So there is not exams, it's all based on assessments.
Maria's just popped her hand up there.
Yes.
So if you want to turn your mic on, and be happy to take your question, Maria.
Hello, my name is Dr. Maria Maksoud. I shall be coming to Queen's for experimental course this year in September. And first of all, I would like to thank you, Professor Margareta, and all others. Your presentation and everything, information related to course was very helpful. And thank you so much for everything you provided for all the students. And here I would like to ask one question that is about the research project. Are we able to choose the project by our own choice, or it is like blindly awarded or just giving to every student?
So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to welcome you in September. So the process, it's so when the students are coming in September, we are going to present all the projects, and we are going to give a list after that with a summary description of exactly what this project involved. So what we do, there are 2 weeks open window for or 10 days for the students to contact potential supervisors, because we believe it's important to talk to people they have these projects in offer. So you go talk to the supervisors, talk to the team, and actually see which project is the best for you and which project really interest you. So after that, there is a selection process, but we are very open to accommodate if there is a specific requirement, or you really fit a lot with a project. We're very open, and we can discuss that to make sure we accommodate the specific requirements for the student to the supervisor. So if this is the case for you, talk to me, and I'm more than happy to go through and try to help you as much as possible to accommodate the selection of the project that you are interested to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it was the second or third day of the course, maybe we got a big presentation of everybody's project, and then you have about 2 weeks to select your top 5, and pretty much everyone I talked to got either their first or second choice. So you definitely it's not just like a random one you get to choose.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not random, not at all. Thank you, Matthew, for that. No. So we listen to the students, and we are here to accommodate and make sure the choice that you have and the project that you have is the one you are interested in.
Thank you so much. I have another question, one more question, if somebody can give me a chance to ask another question, which is related to certification. Can I ask?
Yes, please.
Okay, so on the website, I just found that we can have a GCP certification or animal handling. So here my question is, can I get the both? If I'm able to can I get the both certification for animal handling or GCP together, or alternate in parallel? or just I can choose one?
It depends on your project. So you can get both, or if you're interested. And usually, for the good clinical practice, definitely you can get that, because we offer to all the students, and there is a tutorial, and then you have to follow a webinar, and you have to have an assessment, and then you will get a certificate for that. And for the animal handling, the home license, this has to be through different. And I think now that, due to the pandemic, everything is online. I don't know if September is go back to face-to-face, but this is, quite demanding. So we prioritize the students that they have a project based on animal-related, facilities. So if your project works with animals, it's a must. You must do that, because in other ways you don't have the license to work with animals. If your project is not involve animal-related studies, then, and you really want to have this, again, talk to me, and I'm going to make sure I will facilitate this for you.
All right. Thank you so much.
No
Yeah,
problem.
I actually have both. So I was able to get the GCP certificate through medicine. I did a kind of module with that. And then, yeah, the animal license is very, very involved. I think it was a 2 or 3 day online course, like 9 to 5. There's a big long assessment, and then only once you've completed that, you can start practical stuff, which usually takes about a month. And then after that, again, you have to do more training for your like specific thing that you're doing. So like mine was with immunization, so I have to do further training with learn how to immunize mice. So it's it is very busy. So I'd say like if your project isn't using animals and like focusing on animals, it's probably best to maybe like give that one a miss, because it is like it's a lot of work. But I'm sure like if that was something you wanted, I could definitely sort that out as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Actually, for me, I'm more interested in diabetes, so I think I'm gonna choose some projects in diabetes. I hope I can choose the one of licensed training in animal medicine. I believe that I'll be using the clinical trial practice in that.
Yeah, that's great. Talk to us, and we'll allocate your project, and based on the requirement of the project, we're going to discuss exactly what you need, and we offer you all the courses and the certificates.
Right. Thank you. I think I'm the only student. Actually, I was interested in some group of experimental medicine students who are coming, but till now I don't know if, except me, if anyone is coming or not. But I was just searching on social media like Facebook, Twitter, but nobody responded me. So it will be very, beneficial for me if I can get contact with someone who is coming with me, or some seniors like Matthew who just now talked. He's talking to us.
Yeah, we have many students coming, definitely, and when we have finalized the numbers, and then during September you're going to introduce to each other. It's also talk to each other, and there are some assessments that based on the teamwork, so you have the opportunity to work as a member of a group as well.
I think there is a Facebook group as well. If you search on Facebook for prospective students coming to Queen's, that you would be able to find, and might disconnect with people before you arrive too. But you'll probably get lots of information thrown at you before you arrive anyway, of where you can connect and things like that, Maria. So don't be worrying too much about that.
All right. Okay.
I think there was just a question there from Neve about providing degree classification. I think even what she had to go on, but I can chase up with her on that. But just if anybody else wants to know, that there's no deadline. However, you will need to have submitted your degree classification before you start your degree or the master's in September time, to make your offer unconditional. If you're a current Queen's student, you can log onto your Queen's online and get an unofficial transcript. But if you are an external student of Queen's, you'll have to provide us with official transcripts from your institution.
Thank you, Patricia. That's very helpful to know.
Well, I think if we don't have any other questions, we'll maybe wrap this call up. But thank you very much to Adriana and Matthew for coming and speaking to us today. It was really beneficial to hear more about the programme. We are recording this webinar, so we'll send it out afterwards. And I'll also provide some more additional email addresses just in case you want to get in touch with any questions after today's webinar.